take the trash out. Oh, yeah. She don't like taking the trash out at home. How old was the girl again? The little girl. Yeah, she don't do chores. She has no responsibility. Exactly. She probably don't got the job because she want to be like, oh, I'm gonna probably don't have really give her. She don't take the trash out at home either, Captain. Don't worry, I'm gonna handle it. You for not firing her. I'm gonna fix it. Instead, you go up there and get shot. That's crazy. Well, go up there and get shot. Ain't do nothing. Kathy ain't do a damn thing wrong. All right, well, thank you for that donkey today. Donkey today is sponsored by renowned personal injury attorney Michael the Bull Lamassoff. Don't be a donkey.
Just hilarious. So, the Shade Room, the MV from the Shade Room, sat down with Da Vinci, who plays T on the BMF series, Lil Meech's brother.
I love Da Vinci.
Yes, and they had a conversation about the show and things, but you came up in conversation, just hilarious. Now, this interview is not out. I received this clip. I got my hands on this clip. Let's take a listen. They were playing a game called Drink or Answer, like basically answer the question or you drink. Let's take a listen.
Just Hilarious infamously said Lil Meech was a little musty. When you heard this, was your initial reaction, nah, she's capping, or was it, I could see why she'd say that?
So I drank.
Wow.
I'm staying out of it. Man, Lil Meech got enough on his plate. My brother don't stink. He got like.
You said he doesn't stink?
Nah, I did. But woman, you guys have better sense of smell, so you guys can pick up something that I'm not picking up.
Damn! Never felt like, I can see why you say that.
Well, there's some days that we're on set up for a long time.
Man, cut it out.
We do a lot of corn chips and like Fritos.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's probably the Fritos. I don't like the smell of Fritos.
That is so funny. Are you guys cool? How are you guys doing?
Me and Mitch, we're cool.
Yeah. You don't get into the middle of like all the other stuff. Right.
No.
Yeah, y'all better say Captain if somebody asks that question. Y'all just say Captain, and then come back and be like, yo, E, you need to spray some something.
I was not the first person to say that, yo, I'm gonna get her, yo. She is so funny. I love her though, shout out. But no, I wasn't the first person to say he was musty. One of his fans, when he did a hosting in like Detroit somewhere, I think it was.
I remember that
they
video.
said it. And then when he came to Wildin' Out, and he side hugged me with the arm, and don't you know I had somebody musty, like, you know, with a stench, they hug you. And I was smelling my shoulder. I thought it was me, but I'm like, nah, that's the shoulder that Meech was on. And then I smelled the other one. Then I did. What?
Wow.
I smelled the other one. And I was like, no.
It was you. So I'm just asking.
Because I kept smelling it wherever I go. I'm like, yo, why? I wasn't musty earlier. Why am I musty now? And I smelled the other one. I'm like, nah, that ain't me. Meech was on me the whole game. Like he was, you know what I mean? Like as a homie, he wasn't trying to be with me and that, but like he was just chilling. On me.
Why couldn't the homie convention just emphatically say, nah, my bro don't stink? Like, why?
That's what he said.
No, he did. He took a drink.
He took a drink, he bought corn chips. He said he'd be hard at work.
If this is with me, I want y'all to say Cap immediately. They come back and be like,
I would never say that about any of y'all, even you.
That's not true. I definitely tell y'all.
Oh, no.
I say that in the room.
I would tell.
You say that when people don't stink, so I already know you would say when somebody do
No,
stink.
I say that when people do stink and don't know they stink.
Would you do an interview and be like, yeah, they stink?
yes, he would.
Would you go tell
If your ass.
you be sitting down with all these people rolling stars and all
The
that
person was musty, yes.
You,
Because I'm sure I would have already told the person.
I would keep all of y'all sins in house. I would never tell nobody if y'all
Oh
stink.
no, Charlamagne has told people during interviews that they don't smell good. Like,
I just told her she was musty a couple days
Like,
ago.
you
Don't
listen,
lie.
even Donald
He said
Glover.
it, and I am not ever musty here. I don't know
told him.
why. Wait, what?
He told Donald Glover, like, you don't really smell too fresh.
You
But
just so little.
Me and Jess keep secrets here. If a guest comes and stink, we keep it to ourselves.
absolutely.
The Donald
There's been a lot of
Glover is different. Though. It was hard. It was hard to not notice that. Yo.
Yeah,
was foul for that.
I know.
Oh, really? I was y'all foul for not
He
telling
didn't
me.
even say it like smart, but I was just mad. Like he said it anyway. I was like, oh my god, like, and he was like, really? Like, come on, man. Like he's like, no. You
Then it was a fly flying around.
It was. Oh my god.
Like, you don't smell too fresh today.
But listen, the moral of the story for this is we have to normalize telling our friends
They stink.
when they do have an odor. Cause it's like, yo, he made up the whole Frito thing. What if Meech be like, I don't even eat Fritos? You know what I mean? Like, what if he say that? That was the nice way of saying he do stink. He smell like a bag of chips, like a bag of Fritos. Cause Fritos smell like feet.
Now, I do think that when it comes to men and women dynamics, there's certain odors I'm not going to talk about. Like if it's the breath, sure. If it's musty, sure. But when that BB be hitting, okay, that's when it should be woman to woman.
Continue on.
Or if you're able to tell somebody is on their menstrual. That's the one
Yeah.
to pull it to the side. Look,
But what if it's no women around? What if it's no women around and it's somebody you care
that
about?
sanitary napkin is soiled. I got another one for you. Here you go. You know what I mean? You might want to say that or something.
That's how you say it.
But we have to normalize doing that.
You could just be like, hey, I think you gotta go to the bathroom and freshen up, and then just hand the sanitary.
Yeah, what if they ran out though this week? Here's a fresh one. I bought something in case you didn't. Because obviously she ran out, she ran that one past the time because she don't have another one.
I would pay to see a woman be like, hey, you know, you got a little older, and she'd be like, really? And then the girl be like, period poo.
Oh my God.
I know period poo smells disgusting.
Jesus. Damn.
Everybody go.
All
I
right.
know.
That is the latest with Lauren.
Oh, hold up, y'all. It's whose birthday? Woody Harrelson. Happy birthday to Woody Harrelson, Michelle Williams, and Marlon Wayne.
Okay.
But Woody Harrelson, he's first.
Oh, yes, drop on the clues bombs from Michelle Williams, man. Make sure you listen to the Checking In podcast with Michelle Williams on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network. Happy born day to Nitra.
What's wrong with you, man? All right.
Yo, I thought the board was malfunctioning.
Don't play with Michelle like that.
No, Michelle be playing too. She knows.
All right.
I gotta do it.
It's the Breakfast Club. Come on, the People's Choice Mix is up next.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We getting our ass whooped. Why would y'all leave? Oh my God. Why would y'all leave? Oh my God. I know they mad. I can't believe we pulled that off. I know they mad. They was beating our ass. They was beating our ass.
I was the CEO of Diplomats. I made Diplomats with him. I was with him for every bit of his journey. I held him down. I took that position of holding him down.
You was a fan. You begged us. You were a fan. A fan. So you can sit around and act like you've been around all this Harlem and everything. You ever see somebody from Harlem try to act like they from Harlem so bad that you got to keep saying, I'm from Harlem? From Harlem, know who's from Harlem. You don't have to keep saying you're from Harlem.
Mace needs to go on a diet. He needs to get his life together. He needs to go to the doctor and get a physical. He look terrible. Bad body, back ass. He look big around the neck. Waist look crazy. I'm body shaming this. You heard? He needs to go get his shit together. Get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for playing with me.
Yeah, listen, man. Listen. You were fanned out and you begging us to come to your house after you heard all these mixtapes. That's how you got in. Mace actually taught you how to rap. Literally. He taught you how to rap.
Mace taught me how to rap.
You say it. We taught you how to rap. How you ran the whole organization. How you made Diplomat. Yeah, you ain't know none of this stuff. You was a fan. That's how you got down originally. Period. I heard the new shit you did. Yo, you want to come through? Come through. Why are we going to Jomo's house? So yeah, I would bring some bitches over there sometime. You know, acclimate.
They know what I've done. Dance around it all they want, like that joking, but they know if I get upset, it's gonna be a real problem.
Get out of here.
What if everything you thought you knew about Dipset was straight up a fairy tale? What if Jim Jones, the man who's been parading as the CEO, the capo, the so-called street general of Dipset for the past 2 decades, was never really the one running the show? What if the real brains behind the whole movement were actually the same dudes he's been sneak dissing lately? Mace and Cameron? And get this, it's not coming from random blog gossip or internet trolls. Nah, this drama's unfolding straight from Jim's own mouth. Cam and Mace are out here airing Jim out in wild interviews, and they're not just talking, they're bringing receipts. We're talking old videos, timelines, and street testimonies that flip Jim's Dipset origin story on its head. For years, Jim painted himself as the mastermind behind the movement. But now, folks from Harlem, the same place Dipset reps so hard, are calling cap on that whole narrative. Mace claims he taught Jim how to rap. Cam says Jim was just another dude on the block begging to get put on. And now, as more footage surfaces and more voices chime in, this ain't looking like typical rap beef. It's looking like a full-blown expose. So how did the self-proclaimed CEO turn into the crew's biggest liability? And how much of Dipset's legacy is really built on smoke, mirrors, and borrowed fame? Let's break this all the way down. Harlem ain't just a place on the map, it's a whole movement. In hip-hop, claiming Harlem is like claiming royalty. It's where swag, influence, and respect are born. So when you say you're from Harlem, you're putting your whole credibility on the line. That's why Cameron's recent takedown of Jim Jones hits different. It's not just about who dropped the hottest verse, it's about who really represents the culture. And in Cam's words, Jim ain't even from Harlem like that. Yup, you heard it right. Cam says Jim was never a real Harlem native. According to him, Jim was just some outsider who tried to jump into the Harlem wave after Dipset was already moving. That strikes deep, because in hip-hop, especially in Harlem, if your roots don't run deep in the block, your street rep collapses fast. For years, Jim built his whole image on being the capo, the frontline soldier from Harlem with raw street ties. He was supposed to be the guy who kept it solid when things got shaky, but now Cam's out here saying that was all smoke. He says Jim was just a fan, showing up late, chasing clout, and trying to rewrite history like he was there from day one. Cam's even calling him a groupie who only pulled up after the freestyle started popping off. And let's be real, in Harlem, your origin story matters. You can't pretend you built the house if you only showed up after it was fully furnished. Cam, who's had Harlem in his DNA since his Children of the Corn days, says Jim just wasn't there when it all began. And when Cameron, a Harlem legend, says you weren't part of the foundation, that hits hard. But it ain't just Cam throwing shade. Mace is doubling down too. He's saying Jim was more like a tag-along than a teammate, someone hanging in the background, learning the ropes, not leading the charge. And now that Harlem OGs are stepping up and distancing themselves from Jim's version of events, it's starting to look like Jim's whole street-certified image is cracking. Jim spent 20 years selling the world an image of Harlem grit and gangsta glory, but now, the same city he swore raised him is calling him out for faking the funk. In Harlem, when the block turns on you, it ain't just about losing respect, it's a full-on collapse of credibility. See, everybody in rap wants to be the one who started it all. The architect, the boss, the blueprint maker, and for years, Jim wore that crown like he earned it. But according to Cam and Mace, that crown don't belong to him at all. It's made of paper. Cam ain't just throwing some petty shade here, he's blasting the foundation of Jim's entire rap career. If Cam and Mace were really the ones who built the Dipset movement from the ground up, and Jim just slid in after the machine was already running, then Jim's 20-year claim to leadership starts looking real shaky. And it gets even deeper. Mace is saying he literally taught Jim how to rap. From cadence to flow to delivery, Mace says he was Jim's mentor. That flips the whole power dynamic. Instead of being the boss grooming artists, Jim was the student, soaking up game from the very dudes he now tries to son. Cam even points out how Jim was nowhere to be found in the early mixtapes, the raw freestyles, the real groundwork. He wasn't the one putting people on, he was the one tagging along, chasing the hype. And once that Dipset buzz started getting loud, Jim found a way to squeeze himself in. But here's the kicker. When the tag-along starts rewriting the story like he ran the whole thing, that's where the real drama starts. In hip-hop, there's a massive difference between being the face and being the foundation. And Cam and Mace are making it crystal clear. Jim Jones might have been visible, but he wasn't essential. This ain't just rap beef. This is Harlem history being put on trial. Cameron ain't holding back. He's saying loud and clear that Jim Jones was never the foundation of Dipset. According to Cam, Jim was just the dude who hopped on board after the ship had already left the dock. But here's the kicker. Years later, Jim's out here acting like he built the whole ship from scratch. Now that Cam and Mace are ripping the mask off, that Dipset origin myth is falling apart faster than a cheap chain in a mosh pit. This ain't about petty drama or old grudges. This is about truth, about who really built what. And when the ones who were there from the jump say you were just a late addition, the fans start asking questions too. Because if your whole legacy is built on a fantasy version of the past, it only takes one hard receipt to bring the whole empire crashing down. And those receipts? Oh, they're loud. Dipset wasn't some mystery movement that happened behind closed doors. Fans watched it happen in real time. The classic mixtapes, the gritty DVDs, backstage freestyles, it's all out there, time-stamped and documented. And now those same archives are clapping back at Jim's version of the story. Case in point, there's actual footage of Jim saying out of his own mouth that Mace taught him how to rap, that Cam gave him album placements out of loyalty, not because he was some hot new star. That ain't speculation, that's on camera. But fast forward a few years, and Jim's spinning a whole new tale like he was the one holding everybody down. You can't play both sides. You can't be the apprentice and the architect. Cam and Mace ain't just poking holes. They're tearing Jim's narrative to shreds using his own words, video receipts, and straight-up street memory. When Cam says Jim was a fan begging to be around after hearing the freestyles, that hits way deeper than any diss track. Because this isn't about rap bars, it's about identity. Jim built his whole image off being the Harlem-born capo, the boss who turned street hustle into music success. But now, we're seeing a different version of events, one where Jim didn't lead anything, he followed, he learned, and he slid into position behind the real game changers. And when these contradictions start piling up, Jim ain't pulling out facts, he's throwing tantrums. Instead of answering with truth, he gets loud, defensive, and starts throwing personal jabs. He even tried to body shame Mace just to deflect, but that kind of move only makes things worse. Because when somebody starts attacking people instead of defending their facts, that's usually the moment they got nothing left to stand on. In hip-hop, your reputation is built on your story. Your real story, not the made-up version that sounds good in interviews. And once folks start digging into the receipts and realize you've been remixing the past, that street respect evaporates fast. Jim's recent interviews, the tough guy talk, it's all looking less like confidence and more like damage control. And the more he talks, the more his version of the timeline falls apart. This is the digital era. Nothing disappears. Fans are out here pulling up everything. Old interviews, IG lives, DVD clips, and comparing it all. And what they're finding ain't just shaky, it's incriminating. Because if you really built something, your story shouldn't change with every microphone. Let's be real. In Harlem and hip-hop, being a fan is cool. But lying about your role? That's a whole different story. Cam told some jaw-dropping stories, like the time Jim got chased barefoot and soaking wet through a hotel all the way to the beach. That's not exactly the street general image he's been pushing. Or how Jim pulled up to French Montana's movie premiere, not knowing he was being clowned on screen, and had to sit through the whole film. That's not just disrespect, that's public humiliation. And it shows just how far Jim's fallen from that Harlem pedestal he used to claim so proudly. But the fall didn't happen overnight. Cam laid out how Jim's been moving for years, jumping into beefs, only to turn around and cozy up when the smoke clears. Remember when he tried to chase French Montana out of the game? Now he's front row at French's movie premiere like nothing ever happened. Jim's had drama with all kinds of artists, but somehow always finds a way to rewrite it like he was the loyal one, like he was the glue holding everything together. But real Harlem? They don't talk loyalty, they move with it. Cam said it best. Real ones don't need to keep screaming they from Harlem. Harlem knows who's from Harlem. And Mace? He didn't even blink when Jim threw body-shaming shots. He kept it cool, calm, and focused. That's confidence that comes from truth, not performance. This whole chapter proves one thing. When you fake your way through history, the real authors will come back for their credit. And the difference between Cam and Jim, Cam doesn't need to yell, he just speaks facts. Because when you're telling the truth, you don't have to memorize no script. But Jim, he's running out of rehearsed lines. And every new interview just exposes more cracks in the story. Oh, but we ain't even scratched the surface yet. Because now it's not just about what was said, it's about what wasn't. Jim's silence on key details is starting to speak louder than his interviews. Fans are noticing the dodge moves, the way he dances around the early Dipset timeline like it's quicksand. He'll talk tough, shout loyalty, throw shots at Cam and Mace. But where's the proof that he was really calling shots back then? Crickets. See, Harlem's real ones are watching closely and they remember everything. It wasn't Jim in those early Children of the Corn ciphers. It wasn't Jim on the street DVDs or in the Raw Basement freestyles. It was Cam, Big L, Bloodshed, and Mace setting the tone. Jim showed up later, after the blueprint was already being copied nationwide. So now, when he calls himself the CEO, the boss, the one who held Dipset together, it just don't add up. And let's talk about the irony. The very people Jim's now beefing with, Cam and Mace, are the ones who put him in position to eat. Cam didn't just give Jim verses, he gave him visibility. He laced him with features, put him in videos, and treated him like family. Mace didn't just teach him how to rap. He gave him the fundamentals: flow, cadence, confidence. And how does Jim return that favor? By rewriting the script like he was the puppet master all along. But here's where it gets messier. Jim's been planting this revisionist history for years now. So long that some newer fans actually believed it. But thanks to Cam and Mace pulling out those vintage clips, that smokescreen is clearing up fast. We're talking unreleased tour footage, throwback interviews, even behind-the-scenes footage where Jim's playing the background while Cam runs the show. And when Jim tries to clap back, instead of dropping receipts, he's dropping distractions. Personal shots, emotional outbursts, even talking slick about people's looks and weight, like that's gonna erase the truth. But Harlem doesn't move like that. Harlem moves in silence, with real history and deeper connections. Jim's out here shouting, but the streets are listening to who's got facts. And right now, Cam and Mace are running laps around him. So now the big question is, what happens next? Because once Harlem starts to doubt your stripes, there's no PR campaign that can fix it. Jim's legacy is in limbo. And unless he can back his talk with proof, this whole capo story might just be one of the biggest myth busts in rap history.
I'm arrogant enough to say I can get 1 by myself. 3 by myself, no way, right? And when I left, he struggled to get back. And then what they did, they brought in 2 7-footers to equal what I was doing, which helped him get 2 more.
Hey, niggas, I'm right. Bleacher Report, all them other niggas was wrong. Y'all niggas was wrong. Y'all was wrong. My research was right. I want to see what y'all do with him. Tell him he's wrong. Huh? Skippity, scappity, scappity, scappity. I want to hear it. I'm looking. I got my phone open, waiting for them niggas to go live. I want to see it. To cheat on you niggas again, huh? To cheat on you again, to realize I was right. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. Now, I like this video, cause he said I was right, and then this. And they did some editing, they edited some, I tried to pretend that it wasn't me, but I caught it already. See, I already caught it already.
But don't ever get a twist on who is in charge. Don't ever in your life get a twist on who is in charge, okay?
Gilbert Arenas had a very interesting perspective when he talked about the narrative of Kobe. When he had 3 rings, he was still compared to as an equal to T-Mac, who had 0. And he kind of said the quote, like, you don't really respect the second option. You know, you respect the guy who's in the driver's seat, but you don't really respect the passengers, alluding that you were in the driver's seat and Kobe was the passenger. Do you believe that narrative that's kind of been circulating now is fair or accurate, or kind of just your perspective? Because, like, obviously you were right there with Kobe as this is going on.
No, a lot of times you can say certain words that can be taken as negative and positive. What he said was absolutely true. But Kobe's not your passenger, which makes him different. I can say this now, it doesn't really matter whose team it was, but don't ever get a twist on who's in charge. Don't ever in your life get a twist on who is in charge, okay? But now that we got that out the way, what he said was correct. But people respect Kobe. You can have a couple.
Yeah, see, I used that because you had to know that it was me they were talking about. So we're gonna go to the full one. Boom. Because they dismantled him, but you know me, I'm quick with my shit.
The narrative of Kobe, when he had 3 rings, he was still compared to as an equal to T-Mac, who had 0. And he kind of said the quote, like, you don't really respect the second option. You know, you respect the guy who's in the driver's seat, but you don't really respect the passengers, alluding that you were in the driver's seat and Kobe was the passenger. Do you believe that narrative that's kind of been circulating now is fair or accurate, or kind of just your perspective? Because, like, obviously you were right there with Kobe as this is going on.
You know, a lot of times you can say certain words that can be taken as negative and positive. What he said was absolutely true.
Yeah, see, I think that's what be picking y'all up. See, when people be doing their shorts and they be editing it out, they be editing shit out and trying to make it seem like, yeah. See, y'all mad at words. See, a lot of y'all, 1B sounds amazing. You say sidekick or number 2, y'all have a problem with it.
Right there with Kobe as this is going on.
You know, a lot of times you can say certain words that can be taken as negative and positive. What he said was absolutely true. But Kobe's not your average passenger. That's what makes him different. And, you know,
not your average passenger, but he's a passenger, from what he's saying. I'm not saying get mad yet. I'm just saying, just point it out. I didn't say it. He said, just so we know who said it. He said he's not your average passenger, but so he's not in the back seat. He's in the front seat with his seatbelt on. That's all I'm saying.
That's really true.
It's just.
But Kobe's not your average passenger. That's what makes him different.
From what Shaq is saying, he's not in the Uber as a passenger, right? He's probably in the Saudis somewhere in the Lamborghini, right? Or Bugatti as the passenger. See, I don't know, but I'm just guessing. This is me personally guessing. My opinion. He's not in the Honda as it was today. He's in high class. He's very different. He wasn't, with the other passengers. All right? He ain't on the bus with everybody else. He driving alone. Like, nigga, I need my own car. That's what he's saying. That I'm guessing.
doesn't.
But he did not say he had a steering wheel too. You know, like driver's ed. He not saying he got a steering wheel and he can stop the car anytime he wants. But so don't get not mad yet. I think there's some other stuff y'all should be.
Because now it doesn't really matter whose team it was, but don't ever get a twist on who's in charge.
Y'all don't have a lot of KO.
And doesn't. I can say this now. It doesn't really matter whose team it was, but don't ever get a twist on who's in charge. Don't ever get a twist on who's in charge. Okay, but now we got that out of the way. What he said was correct.
I know they was like, woo! We was just asking a question, big fella.
But people respect Kobe. Like it's like you can have conversations, arguments, and you can have silly conversations. That's a silly conversation. Like the man is vital to my 3 championships.
We about to fumble.
I didn't do it by myself. Vital. At some parts of the series, more vital than me. I did what I had to do, but if you don't do what you have to do, would we have 3? Never know. Right? I'm arrogant to say I can get 1 by myself. 3 by myself, no way.
Now, unbiased. I see when people, like when they do it, go at Shaq, they always say, you didn't win before Kobe got there. And I hate when you say before Kobe got there, like Shaq was there before Kobe. Like, I don't think, it's just sometimes when people say something, I'm like, do you actually know anything about basketball? When he was in Orlando, that team was a bottom-feeding team that added him and Penny Hardaway and turned around and was good. Were they championship good? No. I mean, you still had Michael Jordan in the NBA then. He wasn't the full force yet. After 4 years, 2004, he left. Guess who came back? Michael Jordan. So when Kobe and Shaq came in at the same time, Shaq, Robin, Pippen, whatever the fuck you want to name it, 1B, his 1B was Eddie Jones, and Kobe took that. Now, remember, Michael Jordan was still in the fucking NBA, y'all. The Bulls was still in the NBA. They just was going on their second three-peat when they got to the Lakers. When Jordan and the Bulls retired, y'all watched The Last Dance. When they retired, the team that was supposed to win the championship in '98 with a 19, 20-year-old Kobe was supposed to be Shaquille O'Neal. Then it was a lockout, and Spurs ended up winning because all them niggas came back. Dave Robinson, everybody was full-fledged, and they won the championship. Kobe got 1 year better and realized, okay, he's a valuable number 2. Okay, then obviously the Lakers and them did exactly what they were supposed to do when Jordan retired. So when you guys talk about Shaq not winning, not taking in that this time is all Michael Jordan. Nobody won in the 90s. Everybody won when Jordan wasn't there. Hakeem got 2, Jordan wasn't there. The Spurs won 1, Jordan wasn't there. And then it was Lakers time. No T. He did not say the nigga was the backseat driver. See, that's shit, y'all. See, y'all gotta stop this shit. Nope, he did not say that. Why didn't they win in the lockout? Let me see. We can just go to it if you want to go to it. And I'm sure that as I was Glenn Rice and them, yeah, they wasn't quite there yet. They wasn't ready yet. That was the 98, 99, and that's when they got swept by Spurs. So Spurs swept them to win the championship. But, then they went on and won. So if he said, yeah, he could have won 1 without. Most likely it's the first one. That seemed logical.
Right, and when I left, he struggled to get back. And then what they did, they brought in 2 7-footers to equal what I was doing, which helped him get 2 more.
Kobe fans, listen up.
I'm arrogant to say I can get 1 by myself. 3 by myself, no way. Right, and when I left, he struggled to get back. And then what they did, they brought in 2 7-footers to equal what I was doing, which helped him get 2 more.
I'm just hoping that y'all misconstrue this, right? Misconstrue this like y'all did T-Max.
So what Gilbert said was correct, but I think it was taken negatively. A lot of jocks.
Ooh, that nigga calling y'all jocks.
For this to equal what I was doing, which helped him get 2 more. So what people said was correct, I think was taken negatively. And a lot of jocks. Oh yeah, you got 3, right? You got 3 because of Shaq. And I hear that same thing. Oh yeah, you got 3 because of Kobe. Like I see posts all the time. Oh, y'all say Shaq carried Kobe, and they put Kobe stats in when he never won. He carried each other.
Ooh, they sound like. Hey, that's what you niggas be doing. Huh? Hey, Scap-a-tap. Hey, Skibbity-Scap. I think he's talking to you, Skibbity-Scap. I think he's talking to you. Where y'all find these moments where Kobe averaged more to try to discredit it. That's what y'all, he's talking to you, goofies. I hope you stand up for yourself. I know you seen it. I know you seen it.
I've never seen a fighter in a long time just knock out a person with one hand. I've seen them all. I've seen them set you up, and then boom. And then sometime they set you up, and then boom. That was us. One game, I'm gonna do this. One game, he gonna do that. One game, we both gonna do it. When it come time that we need it, I'm gonna do it, and he gonna do it. And with Team Max said was correct too.
Ooh!
When it come time that we need it, I'm gonna do it, and he gonna do it. And what Team Max said was correct too. Think about that all the time. You switch up positions. Well, let me